What's up, YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full final Gambit team. Make sure you leave your theme team suggestions in the comment section below. Highest thumbs up comment will be the winner. Okay, this was a really tough team, right? I had to use Final Gambit on every Pokemon, and I had to pick 6 Pokemon with Final Gambit. So I went into the PU tier and picked 6 Pokemon out there, right? And I had multiple battles. So I got 3 battles to show you tonight because obviously you can imagine they're going to go pretty quick. Okay, let's get to it anyway. All the battles I did were on my chat. If you want to battle against me, check that out in the description of the video. I accept all my battles there. Alright, so we have a Fanfi lead here. I've got my Ninjas lead here. I'm going to Final Gambit that and Ripperoni for Fanfi. So the idea here was I had a couple of cool Pokemon on my team for Final Gambit, and also had like a little strategy too. It wasn't just use Final Gambit like 6 times or whatever. I wanted to try and strategically win the battle. Okay, so Wartortle comes in here. Now Wartortle is pretty bulky in health, so what I did, some of my Pokemon have U-turn, right? And I U-turn into, I know Shedinja is a completely hopeless Final Gambit Pokemon, but it's very good to pivot between and tank all like the just any sort of move, and then I can swap back into another Pokemon, and maybe if they, if they're going to go for like a status move, then and try and finish them off that way. So that was my best bet there. So it had some very funny battles. Okay, so we've got Electabuzz coming out here. So my items, right? I had on my Raticate, I had a Choice Scarf. I had on my Ninjask, I think I may have had leftovers on it. Staravia had a Choice Scarf as well. Now out comes Furret. This was bad because I was like, I think it might have some sort of priority, but I almost swapped into Shedinja there. Unfortunately, I didn't there. So I went for the U-turn here because I thought it may have Focus Sash as well. So there was the priority and the Focus Sash that I was worried about. So I probably should have just gone for the Final Gambit there, but I was trying to think of all the other options there. Okay, so into Basculin here. Basculin's really good Final Gambit user because it has Mold Breaker, which means it can get through stuff like sturdy Pokemon, like they won't hang on by their sturdy or anything like that, completely nullifying all those abilities. Okay, so that's going to be easily enough to take out the Furret there. And that's my Basculin down. So things are going pretty well at the moment. The problem is, though, I already took some damage on my Staravia, so that Final Gambit is going to be pretty damn weak. Okay, so I'm going to send in my Survivor here, which is also Choice Scarf, and also the best Final Gambit user on my team. It has 350 health. So if you didn't know, right, Final Gambit actually is a move it's a fighting type move, a special type move, that uses the amount of health you have at one time. Say Survivor had, say a Pokemon had 200 health and you use Final Gambit, it does 200 damage to the Pokemon, opposing Pokemon. Now, it doesn't matter if this Pokemon has had a million boost in defense or whatever, it just goes straight on the health stat, so it ignores any stat boost and stuff. However, if there's a ghost type, it obviously can't hit. Okay, so Dodrio is going to be a real pain there, and that's my Staravia down rip. Okay, so the last Pokemon I've got is my Shedinja here. Now, Shedinja is more like a pivot between all of my other Pokemon, so I did have a little strategy on him as well. Mainly, he was the Pokemon that I was going to use to try and beat the last Pokemon, which all my other 5 had used Final Gambit. Okay, so Godfish comes in here. I've got Hone Claws and Shadow Sneak on this as well. That's the strategy I was running. Unfortunately here I couldn't do much to Dodrio. I had Focus Sash on this too. Like the amount of times I died to like Sandstorm and like Will-O-Wisp and stuff was crazy too. But overall he was very handy to have on this team. So I couldn't even do anything to Dodrio, so I just went for Final Gambit and that massive 1 health. So that was the first battle. These are probably the 3 close battles I had. Okay, so next one we have actually this one was against a passerby, right? I won't give it away yet, but this was frustrating. So we have a Delphox lead, right? I'm leaning with Staravia this time. So I just went for Final Gambit this turn, obviously there. You never would have guessed. There's no point going for U-turn because I know how much health Delphox normally has. Okay, so a good start there, taking the Delphox out there. Now the problem with passerby battles, sometimes I got caught with people having like really weird EVs, and stuff. We're having like more health than the Pokemon like should, like a sweeper Pokemon having like loads of health for some reason. Anyway, so I've got Protect and Final Gambit on my Ninjas. That's mainly there so I can block stuff like Fake Out and all those like annoying things there. Ninjask is, I think I gave it like Jolly Nature or something. It's still like 450 or 60 speed, so it's really, really quick there. Okay, so Pidgeot goes down there. I thought it may be Mega Pidgeot. That's why I went for the Hurricane there. Sorry, not Hurricane. The Protect there, expecting the Hurricane. Derp. Okay, so we have the Survive here now. This was really good because I was like, the only Pokemon that might give me a bit of trouble is Blastoise because it has a lot of health. So that was really good at swapped in there. I thought it actually may be Mega, but it wasn't. So that was really good. So Survivor is taking Blastoise down. So things are going really perfect at the moment. It's awesome. Okay, so here I sent in my Raticate, right? And we had the Sylveon. Now this is where things, I thought things would start to go bad. So I went for the Final Gambit there, but it turned out to be the Zoroark. So I'm like, okay, well that's not too bad. I was quite surprised that would have been enough to take out Sylveon. So that was the problem Pokemon at the moment, right? Okay, so Zoroark was down there. That was good. Now, I only had 2 Pokemon left, being my Basculin and my Shedinja. So Meganium comes out, I'm like, okay, well, it's definitely going to use some sort of Grass-type move, right? So if I go into Shedinja here, I can Wonder Guard it, then I should be able to swap back into it, expecting them to have a swap, you know, unless it's got something like Toxic. It uses Dragon Tail, which is cool. So I was like, okay, well, I'm very certain they're going to swap out here and go into Sylveon. Then I can use Basculin to Final Gambit. Then I can beat their ass with Shedinja on the 1v1. Unfortunately, they stay in and went for Grass Pledge. I'm like, no! And I live for some reason, like, oh, man. So, unfortunately, there was nothing I could do. I had to go for the Final Gambit there and did a massive chunk of their health. So, I was very close in that battle. I thought I played the prediction right there, but sometimes I think they may have been quite a beginner there. So, yep, that's how it goes sometimes. So, Meganium's obviously going to swap out now. Yeah. God damn it. I went for the Hone Claws anyway to boost my attack here. So I had Hone Claws and Shadow Sneak as I mentioned before. Okay, so I would have been able to easily beat that Meganium. Like, clearly they didn't use anything like Toxic and stuff. Okay, so unfortunately this thing has a Shadow Ball, and that's going to be enough to take me out quite easily because of my massive 1 health there. Okay, so I knew I wouldn't be able to take this out, so I went for another Hone Claws. I needed a critical hit here. That was the only way I was going to get around it. I had my little fingers crossed here, but yeah, Shadow Sneak hits pretty hard, but it doesn't hit hard enough. Even at max, I don't think it would have taken it out there. I would have needed a crit and rip. So that was my second better battle I had with this team, but I was very close there. It was that one prediction. I thought about that for so long. Okay, right, so last battle. This was probably the most interesting battle that I had. Right, so I was like, I was at the end of my rope. I'd tried so many times with this team. Like, those were the 2 best battles I had. Then I came up, like, against basically these OU teams. I was like, oh, I might as well just do this for a loss. Okay, so we had a Skarmory lead here. I looked in the team preview. I thought they may leave it. That was really good. I get around Skarmory's sturdy. I'm guessing it definitely had it. And that's, you know, that's Skarmory down. So that was awesome. It couldn't set up any traps. Okay. So we had the Staravia coming out here. And we had the Latios. So I was like, oh, it could be Mega Latios here, but I am Choice Scarfed and I'm pretty fast, so I shouldn't have a problem actually outspeeding this thing. So it turned out to be Mega Latios, which I never saw coming. Once again, I could have used U-turn here. That would have done some good damage and then gone into Shedinja, but I just thought bugger it. I went for the Final Gambit, and it just, you know, it must have just had enough to take it out there, which was good. It's mostly a sweeping, Pokemon anyway. So good, very good start at the moment. Alright, now, they had a Gengar on the team. This is why I wasn't taking this battle too seriously up to this point. So I was like, well, Raticate, what I could do here is I could go into my Shedinja because they're not going to use Shadow Ball, right, are they? And that's mainly the thing that Gengar's going to be able to hit my Shedinja with. Now, that was good. So I was like, okay, well, I need a Hone Claws up here because I've got Shadow Sneak, and I know that it's not going to be able to one-shot it. So Gengar goes for the Shadow Ball there. That's cool. I've got my Sash here to save me. I consider it as Life Orb too, which is good. That's a little bit of extra damage. So I've got my Hone Claws up here. That's going to boost my attack one stage there. And I'm going to go for the Shadow Sneak on the Gengar the next turn to try and take it out. They stay in, which is hype. And that Shadow Sneak is going to just absolutely wreck Gengar. So that was really awesome there. So Gengar down. That was a big problem because obviously all my other Pokemon were Final Gambit users. Okay, so Gliska comes in here. This thing was an actual pain in the ass because I knew that it has a lot of health and... yeah, my attack pretty much did nothing to it. The Gliska is going to go for the Toxic, and that's my Shedinja Rip. But it did its job there taking out the Gengar. That was really awesome. Okay, so it's going to be one of these Stoli Glixa. What I was thinking, right, was I had my Ninjas, which had quite a bit of health, a little bit more health than the other one. I had Raticate still. But I just decided to go for Raticate and go for the final Gambit. I thought it'd be very close to how much health it had. They didn't protect or anything, which was good, and that was, I don't know, that was probably really close to the amount of health like both of them had there. So I got Gliska down. Excuse me. I was really happy with that. So we're down to our last 2 Pokemon. This is Hype. Okay, this is probably my favorite bit of the battle. So I send in my Survivor, right? Heatran comes in with an Air Balloon. I actually had Switcheroo and Final Gambit on my Pokemon. So I switcherooed my Choice Scarf to the Heatran, got his friggin' Air Balloon, and I dodged the Earth Foul. That was so hype. I just wanted to, I just would have loved to see the reaction there. Okay, so I went for the final Gambit this turn. I thought, bugger it, let's do it. Landorus comes in here. Now, Survivor's got like a shitload of health, so I knew that would be enough to take this out. It's generally like a Scarf or Sweeper anyway. So that's down. My last Pokemon I've got left, what last Pokemon do I have left? It's my Ninjask, and we have the Heatran left. I was like, okay, well, it's Choice Scarf now, but I'm Ninjask, so I went for the final Gambit here. This was the best result I could do, and that takes the Heatran out, and woo! We finally win. Well, I got all the Pokemon down, but technically I fainted first, so I lost, but that was a really good result, and that was so hype. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Peace out.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.